We've been looking at the body camera issue for probably close to a year as we started looking at ways that we could enact some reforms in our police department, and then we saw that many of the major departments across the country were moving in this direction. So we started talking to some of the vendors and looking at the technology and the costs. And then during the time I was interviewing police chief candidates, many of them from across the country, this issue came up where in a lot of their departments this had been something they had done. So probably about 5-6 months ago we started moving in earnest, not only toward police, but we also started looking at other areas where we have individuals that engage in enforcement activity and interact with the public, and for in particular parking enforcement, code, fire enforcement in terms of inspections, and building inspections, where maybe it isn't life-threatening issues, but there certainly are potentials for he said, she said, in terms of customer service, in terms of the facts behind a particular enforcement matter. So we're moving down that path. We believe we have the political support to get approved in this budget, rolling out the first 100 or so cameras in the police department, and then the applicable cameras in the other 4 departments, smaller number. And then the next budget year, phase 2 would be rolling it out in the rest of the police department, with the exception of certain areas where it wouldn't make sense, like internal affairs or undercover work and whatnot. The contract would be with the Taser company. It'll be a 5-year contract for about $2.7 million over the course of that. And one of the big advantages there is that the storage is up in the cloud, the infamous cloud, which has significantly reduced the cost of these programs. These were often cost prohibitive, particularly for smaller cities, but having the ability to access the cloud now really makes it available. And unfortunately, in the aftermath of the events in Ferguson, Missouri, for example, I think all across the country we're seeing the importance of being able to see what's happening out in the streets, both in terms of protecting the residents and citizens, but also at times protecting the officers and public employees from misunderstandings and whatnot. So I think over time, while there may be some initial resistance sometimes from employees, they realize that this protects them as much as it protects the public.